actually stabilize in few months to come. And obviously, when you look at even just
for soybeans, actually, the Zambia National Farmers Union met with other players in the sector, and they've agreed that they are exporting soybeans this year owing to increased production that we saw. They've planned to export some good metric tons, and if you calculate that, looking at the price performance that the Stanbic Bank releases, we are likely to benefit about 65 million from that export. So that's not the only crop. But what we are looking at right now, before we maybe talk about soybeans, is the maize situation. We've got reduced production. Are we benefiting enough as a country if we export, or should we preserve that for local consumption?
Well, I wanted to do
and I think this is what has been the debate always, Prudence. You realize that a lot of people would say, no, if we export, we have a shortfall of this. So is it the right thing to do as a country?
Well, okay, maybe just coming from what Prudence was talking about. Yes, we may like it to have a situation where we can have some cost on maize if we continue going on a trajectory of export. Because obviously we've got so much of what we can see. The case in scenario is that we've got unpredictable land patterns for the nation when it comes to farming, seasons. So there is a need for us to have a moderate way in which we can approach the export of maize. And the way we are looking at it in this way is to have a variation, coming into play. If we basically start doing it now, it will be a very long formula for us to go by. Obviously, yes, it can help to interplay into our fiscal space if we basically make a timing, approach in which we can actually get to export our commodity of this type of commodity maize. So what I'm trying to say in this case that yes, the movement in the way we are trying to look at export, we should also come with a methodological approach in which we should be able to go via addition. If we export maize, yes, it becomes very difficult for us to get something. Yes, but if we get to have even not only value as well, but the aspect of also unemployment. If we basically export in the processed goods, it will also create some bit of employment in a way. Because once we export the low value, the low form of product, we basically also export our employment. Yeah, which actually becomes a very difficult situation for us. So what I would say is that yes, it can interplay once we go by value addition, and also we need to safeguard the market as well to ensure that we have got sufficient for the nation. Because if we basically take things out, then it becomes difficult for us to even make a proper projection. And mind you, we are in a period where the whole entire world now is in stagnation, where there is low growth and also high employment. And that also does not bring balance to the economic factors. Obviously, when you look at the composition in the nation, we need to have people that are also, we need to get an equitable, balanced society where we don't have thieves, we don't have these. Because, the economy should not run with thieves, I should put it. It's counteract on our achievement, on our production as well. Yeah, so we need to create that atmosphere where we have things working out in a perfected position or conditions. Yeah.
We are talking about the high price of cooking oil on the market. Currently, Zambia is not producing enough soybeans to cater for the much needed cooking oil. This was confirmed by Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Chikoka Mlenga, and of course the Minister of Agriculture, who alluded to the fact that we are having this high price of cooking oil on the market because the soybeans that we are producing
as
is
a country
not
is
enough.
Not enough. Yeah.
This year, apparently, we produced quite a good tonnage of soybeans, and the players in the sector have suggested that part of the soybeans should be exported to other countries, and of course for consumption and stuff like that. They've divided what we are expecting to invest as a country. Do you think in an economy where previously we were saying cooking oil prices are going up because we don't produce enough cooking oil, and then we start exporting just because we have done a good production this year, do you think that is a good move taken by the players in the industry?
Well, exporting cooking oil, soya beans in the low form as well, might not be able to be a good formula for us, because obviously we have seen that whatever we are doing right now, in as much as there may be an appetizing demand in Kenya and a few other countries, or even just in Tanzania here, it does not give us a lot of confidence for us to go with this commodity. And that's the reason why we've got cooking oil. Even when you look at the cost of 2 liters, it's about over 100, about 140, 135 somewhere about. So basically, if we contain ourselves to have this commodity in the country, and perhaps if we were to export it in cooking oil form or feed, I think that could really help. And even when it comes to making cooking oil, I think there is a need also for us to look at using other means as well, using groundnuts, using these other things. I think that also is what we need to promote as well. So yes, if we tend to do sort of things like that, where we basically create a multiplier effect, in our commodities, I think that will really give us a substantial economic gain. Yes.
Agriculture and agro-business play an important role in the Zambian economy in terms of contributing about a good percent on the gross, on the GDP, in the country's GDP. Are we doing enough in ensuring that we utilize this opportunity as a country, given the fact that this sector brings so much contribution to the economy?
The problem that has been there is that we have over-dependent on the mining sector. Of course, it's the main base for the economy, but agriculture poses to be a greatest liberator for most of what we face as a nation. So it's only cause for us to look at how best can we bring in the aspect of even irrigation farming, winter farming. If we can drive ourselves so strongly and maybe probably bring the aggressiveness on the policies that promote agriculture inputs as well as other equipment, that really gives us a very good shape for us to shape this nation. Agriculture has really given a very good stance for other countries. Like if you look at Rwanda, Kenya, and few other countries are making it out of agriculture. They don't have the mineral base that we have, like the copper we talk of here in Zambia. They are surviving based on agriculture. Botswana is one example where they're surviving on agriculture, but they have made cattle to be their god. And despite having the mineral base or mineral resource, they are also trying to see agriculture as a very good potential for us to utilize. We have underutilized agriculture. Even when you look at even tourism plays a very pivotal role for us. But we have not even gotten to a point where we should push these fundamentals to work to the fullest capacity. So the moment we realize that agriculture plays a very good role, we will not even think of mining. Mining will just come in to complement, or agriculture will complement to mining. So that's what we need to look at, yes. Yeah.
Important discussion there. We have Mr. Kelvin Chisanga, who's an economist, and of course we are looking at Zambia's economic performance. We've talked about several things of what is happening around in the areas of inflation, in the area of our physical space, and what is it that our government needs to do in order to improve Zambia's economy. If you have a comment or contribution that you would like to make with regards to the discussion that we are having this morning, we are opening our phone lines. You can get to call us and let's get to interact. At the rate at which Zambia is moving in terms of economic recovery, what things do you think the government should put in place that will trigger into the economy to see things stabilize? We've seen high costs of living, the cost of living, though measured by the JCTR for this month, reduced a little bit. Yeah, I think it reduced by 33 kwacha. Yes, that was a reduction, and it was attributed to things like carpenter and citrus fruits. And the carpenter was because now we don't have this ban on fish, and of course the citrus, it's because we have them in season.
Yes.
So we saw that, and of course the cost of living has reduced by 33 kwacha. But that is not the reduction that we want to see in an economy where most of, or rather the majority of Zambians are poor. Mr. Sanga, let's talk about maybe creating job opportunities. What is it that our government should do in order to create job opportunities? We know that most of the times when we complete school and we are deciding on our career path, we think about doing maybe teaching or nursing, because we know the government will employ you. But as a country, we need to stop looking at government employment and creating our own opportunities. What things do you think the government should do in order to create more employment for the local people?
You know, yeah, I like the trajectory in which the government has taken with the private, public-private dialogue forum, which actually signals...
Okay, let me cut you a bit short. I think we have a caller. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. This is Reverend. I'm just calling from a general
Yes, Reverend. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you. I hope you are.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Zambia's economic performance, I think the way I would describe it in a nutshell, I think we're still in stage as a reference to the coming of the new administration, which is the Indian administration, I think, from what I think, where the focus from right over 2021 to where we are. I think that still in a field in stage, so there are many different problems that I think that they have to deal with. So what they need to do in order for us to enhance and improve our economic performance and probably bring this country to where it's supposed to be. I'm using the word supposed to be because we should have been at the stage where we now, I think many years ago, if I told you know the other administrations that were there before, after the unique administration, did continue to build on the achievements of that administration. Because you know, any country, in order for it to build out of growth, you need to build on the positives of the previous administration. But I think that we have a tendency of, you know, a one-man show, where this president comes in, wants to prove his regime as a thing like that, you know, at the expense of the country and the economic improvement of the country. But very quickly, on what we ought to do, we have a huge human resources. You know, we are uploading both from the learning institutions to universities and so on. But we also have these, you know, huge human resource of the uneducated young people that, you know, we can utilize in sectors like the agriculture sector, which requires very basic, I think, you know, knowledge. But it requires a lot of, you know, hands-on, you know, skills. So those are basics that can be, you know, trained. A lot of young people can be taken into, say, for example, I've been an advocate of taking them into the Zambia National Service. For reasons that, first of all, they'll not just get good training, but they'll also get discipline. Because it is important, you know, if we can have, you know, a trained human resource that is not only skilled, but discipline. Because once they've been given that training, then they'll be able to contribute within the service. But even when they are uploaded into, you know, the private sector, they'll be able, you know, to take that training and discipline and set up their own small holding or farming blocks or whatever you can call them, and be able to contribute, you know, to the agriculture sector. There are so many, you know, areas that, you know, I think they start, for example, now there's the issue of what is this product, I don't know what's the name again, the other thing, not the other. There's this particular other thing, and there's also, I think, a huge market that now has been opened up in Congo, and now Saudi Arabia is coming and focus and wanting to do business with Zambia, and many others. And all these we can invest in this, we'll be able to do mass production. That will not only, you know, help us to, you know, export out there and earn a lot of, you know, foreign revenue or foreign, but we'll be able to also grow our own economy, because then we'll be, you know, food secure in many areas, not just today, but I think many other areas, whether we talk of aquaculture or other, areas in agriculture, I think we'll be able, because we'll not just be looking at, growing maize, but many other products that, currently are selling on the international market. So, for example, these exotic, products like avocados, etc., etc. These will be able to help us, enough revenue, for our